Hi everyone! Welcome back to Music to Your Ears, where we talk about all things music. I'm your host, Ale Arroyo. In today's episode, we're diving into a movement that didn't just create a genre. It changed culture, language, fashion, politics, and identity. We're talking about the sound of resistance, rhythm, and reinvention. We're talking about hip-hop. Hip-hop was born in the Bronx, New York City, in the early 1970s, a time when the borough was burning both literally and socially. Poverty, racism, and urban decay were daily realities. But out of that struggle came creativity. Block parties became safe havens. DJs like Kool Herc, Africa Bambaataa, and Grandmaster Flash started experimenting, looping the breaks from funk and soul records so dancers could move longer. That looping became the foundation of hip-hop sound. Then came the AMC's Masters of Ceremony, hyping up the crowd with rhythm and rhyme. Soon the hype became storytelling, and the storytelling became rap. Rap wasn't just music, it was a megaphone. For communities that society ignored, hip-hop became the language of truth. Groups like Public Enemy and NWA turned raw experiences into political statements. Songs like Fight the Power and Straight Outta Compton weren't made for radio approval, they were made to wake people up. Hip-hop told the stories that weren't on the evening news. It gave a platform to the unheard, and it made rhythm a form of resistance. One of the most revolutionary parts of hip-hop was sampling. Producers took tiny pieces of older songs, like jazz riffs, soul vocals, funk grooves, and built something entirely new. This blending of eras and genres broke every rule of traditional composition. Artists like the Sugar Hill Gang, Run DMC, and Beastie Boys brought rap into the mainstream, while Dr. Dre, Jay Dilla, and Kanye West later turned production into high art. Hip-hop blurred lines between music and poetry, past and future, rhythm and rebellion. It turned the studio into an instrument and the street into a stage. By the late 1990s and 2000s, hip-hop wasn't just an American genre, it was the global sound. From many different places in the world, artists began telling their own stories through rap. It became a universal language of ambition and authenticity. The fashion, the slang, the attitude, everything about hip-hop shaped modern pop culture. And today, hip-hop isn't just at the top of the charts, it is the charts. Artists like Kendrick Lamar, Nicki Minaj, Drake, and Cardi B carry forward the legacy of innovation and expression that started on those Bronx streets. As someone who doesn't come from listening to hip-hop, I see it as a revolution now. The word genre is not enough to describe what hip-hop is or has transmitted to the listeners. And the revolution didn't stop with sound. Hip-hop reshaped film, fashion, dance, and even technology. It taught the world that storytelling could come from anywhere, and that creativity thrives when it's born from struggle, pride, and vision. From graffiti to streetwear to social justice movements, hip-hop's influence runs deep. Because it's not just about beats or bars, it's about identity, power, and the freedom to speak your truth. I got a confession to make. The reason why we're talking about hip-hop today is because I watched the classic Disney Channel movie, Let It Shine. They say you find inspiration from weird sources. Mine is actually pretty obvious. When I was a kid watching this movie, I didn't really see the movement they were trying to make by showing kids and teenagers what hip-hop is and could do for you. Now it's only obvious what they were trying to do, and I would say it's still pretty much up to date about how hip hop has this stereotypes of being a bad influence. When in reality, I think hip hop is just another way, an inspiring way, I would say, to speak your truth and say how you really feel. At least I think that's the message I got from the movie. Another phenomenon that changed hip hop for me was Kendrick Lamar's halftime show at the Super Bowl last year. I mean, what a performance! It wasn't only about the songs or the music, I would say it was storytelling and how he transmitted the message he was trying to say. Hip hop started as a heartbeat from a broken city and became the pulse of the planet. It revolutionized not just what we listen to, but how we express ourselves. So you got 3 recommendations this week: Let It Shine, Kendrick Lamar's halftime show, and No Sleep Till Brooklyn by the Beastie Boys. Especially if you're driving on the freeway or having a good day, cause that song hits. I'm Ale Arroyo, and this was Music to Your Ears. Thank you for listening, and remember, hip hop isn't just music, it's a movement.